The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Return the Jewels. Also, there's explicit language. Welcome to this week's episode. It's a good one. So currently, I'm in kind of like a stacking episode phase. So these intros and these episodes might feel non sequitur, non sequitur, because it's with a U. Um, but so I guess I'm really just trying to figure out the order in which to put the guests, and it's not really, the first season, if you'd call it, because we took that break, was kind of entertainment themed, and this batch of episodes kind of feels like it's moving in that direction, but it's also, you know, me reaching out and booking and just trying to find people in different fields and doing different things and just stacking the content right now because the conversations are cyclical and evergreen. But I say all that to say, it's currently the 26th of December, and this episode that I'm recording this intro for now is going to be the 13th of January. But I recorded this episode on a whim because I saw my friend Dre, who we had on episode 3, I think. Episode 3, man, all I know is words. Dre, he came back because we're doing recurring guests, and so he's able to recorded this on a whim because we were having a conversation about just like how language is precision, and how there's a responsibility with using words, and when you use words, how do you use them to frame whatever your argument is? And if the argument you're framing is one that is motivated by kind of a persecution complex or something, and we kind of dissect what that is, you really have to evaluate it. And we tried to relate it to like colonial hierarchy and different microaggressions and stuff like that. But really, we had kind of a lot of fun on this episode. And yes, I know no one has commented, but I have been doing a lot of editing and watching these old episodes, and I realize I say a lot. As of this moment, me realizing that I say a bunch as a filler is something I got to work on, but it's definitely very prominent in all the recorded content that will be coming out, uh, because it's all previously recorded. But I don't know. Anyways, this is the episode. Andre D. Thompson. Enjoy.
Understanding the human experience. That's the job. That's a part of it. It's a part of the game.
Yeah. Anyways, so I pressed record right after we had this very touching and open conversation. So, but now we're going to start the episode. So,
Er,
here we have another one of our recurring guests back for the first time, Andre Thompson. And I remember I fucked up last time. I was like, Andre Thomas.
and you
That,
fucked up this time. Andre D. Thompson.
oh yeah, I did fuck up this time.
so
I thought you were about to tell me
now it's gonna be the
Thomas.
third time the charm. When I come back on the third time,
Third
is
time.
that's when you're gonna say
Bro,
Andre D. Thompson.
bro, I'm a
Then after
monkey
that,
penis, baby. That's how we build
that's
in
what we do.
suspense,
Third time's
yo.
the charm, son.
Is love gonna fuck up his name the third time? And if he does, then well, that's just like maybe that's Patreon exclusive content. We'll just have to blur out the beginning. No, I don't know. I don't know. I don't. I feel even weird bringing that up. Uh,
Bringing up what?
like whoring myself out for Patreon and stuff before I
I
really
don't
have
know,
the
dude. Is it
infrastructure and
pouring
scale.
yourself out?
Oh, no, 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 no. I don't believe it is whoring yourself out because if
Mm,
you're actually doing a thing and sending a message, all the donations are voluntary. So
mm,
people I know it's not whoring it out, but I think there's a certain aspect of timing to it. Like I set up the Patreon and all those whatever like months ago when I was setting up all this stuff, but like
yeah.
I'm not pushing it. I'm not doing a strategy towards it because there's not really that many people that I think would pay for that kind of exclusive content or whatever. But uh not yet.
You know the thing I was thinking about that with that I don't know if there's people that would pay for that. We like you don't know.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like you don't know.
No.
You don't know. I remember like putting shit on like when you try to set goals. Like I was trying to like learn how to like put goals on the paper and yada yada yada. Goal setting, YouTube stuff, and then it was like put stuff on a sheet of paper and put a date on it and be specific. So I did that, and then I fucked around and caught like a couple of the things way earlier than the shit than what I put it on as on the paper. Like I probably had set a goal for 2024,
Yeah.
and then it happened in 2019 or it happened in 2020, and I was like, oh shit. So
Yeah.
a part of not knowing how it's gonna go is the whole totality, the entirety of not knowing how it's gonna go. It could go fucking great.
Yeah, one of my older friends was telling me about, this time in life, and
Yeah.
I just turned 33, not just turned 30. Well, I turned 33 during quarantine, so either I just turned 33 or I turned 33 ages ago. But
Okay.
she was telling me about how there was one year in her 30s where she, wrote down all her goals and like looked at it at the end of the year and all the goals she had written down, those have been done,
Mm.
you know? Those are like, oh,
Light work,
those are
easy.
yeah, that was light work. So that's just this is something I think about. I've been writing out stuff more and all of that.
Hmm.
It's been helping. And then even today I looked back at an old list I had on the whiteboard
Yeah.
and I was very glad to erase it. And it was so old.
Nice.
It was so old that it was hard to erase. It's still got like the imprint on the whiteboard, so I got to take
Okay, I see what you
all
mean. I do
yeah.
something about like it's hard to erase like the memory of
Oh
setting a
no, no,
goal.
I want that bitch gone. I'm like, yeah, like get that off of my head.
I bet, yeah. Get that off because I got other shit to do. I got new things to put up
I
there.
need more space.
Hell
Put on
yeah.
more elements of anxiety in my to-do list. But I think
Shit. The anxiety really come from not doing.
yeah.
That's really where the anxiety come from not doing.
I
Because
mean, there's
humans, bro, we are designed to do. We supposed to be here doing
yeah.
something. And then when you sit the fuck down all the time and you procrastinate, you get anxiety because you start thinking of all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, and when you have a list, you can look at all the things you're supposed to do.
Yeah, but if you just saying fuck it, I'm gonna just start doing and not think about whatever the hell and just be in the action of doing, you don't really get time to stress your own self out, stress yourself out. You're busy, you're doing,
Yeah. Yeah,
and
there's a
you not
certain
nagging you.
I feel like I go in phases of extreme productivity. No, well, I mean I'm generally pretty productive, but I go in phases of like extreme efficient productivity and then just like very lackadaisical
I feel you. Yeah.
productivity. But when I'm
That's
in
why you
those
end up in art
bouts,
and not like marketing. If you was like all extreme productivity, you would be Indian Jeff Bezos. You would be
who
doing
says I'm
that
not?
stuff. But
What if I mined a bunch of Bitcoin a decade ago and I just don't tell people about it?
you be out, yeah.
Bro, no, no, that's definitely not the case. It's what that's my fantasy actually. My
Mm,
fantasy is to just like jump back in time, tell my 21, 22-year-old self, be like, hey, there's this cool thing called Bitcoin. I know right now you could take out a loan, buy the computer equipment you need to just start mining it, and any extra money you get your hands on, just buy it. Just just start stacking it. Put it on a
Do you
drive
use
somewhere.
Bitcoin now?
Huh?
Do you do it now?
No,
Use
I never
Bitcoin?
did it. I never did anything with Bitcoin ever,
So
ever.
how come you want to so bad and you don't do it?
No, no, no. I want to tell myself from 2008, 2009 to start
So
stacking.
why don't you tell yourself now, this self, whatever this
Oh no,
self
no,
you
because it's too highly volatile and it's hit that peak. It went over like it did a meteoric jump. It's like telling yourself to buy Apple in 2000, right? It's like one of those fantasies. You know, it's
but
like
you
yeah,
can
there could be a
you
trend
can
now.
buy it
There
now.
could be a trend now. No, not necessarily Bitcoin, but maybe something different. Like you look at different emerging trends and what's something that could blow up. It's got to be something different. But like that's one of those trends you would have hit
All right, one of the things
at a
I'm
certain
thinking
point.
about is because the people who bought Apple in 2000 and then the people who bought Apple in 2016 are
Mm.
both happy. The
Sure,
person who
sure,
bought
they're both happy.
Bitcoin in 20 in 20 in 29 well, to 2009 and the person who bought Bitcoin in 2017, both pretty happy, I'm sure. So
Well,
I'm just
that's what
saying,
makes these
you
fantasies,
just tell
right?
yourself to do it now
That's what
if
makes
you really
these
want to do it.
fantasies. If I could be a millionaire, if I could be a billionaire, that's what makes
But
these
you could
fantasies.
if you start doing the shits.
Sure. Why I framed it as this is what makes this a fantasy. Obviously, I can't jump back in time.
But you can
Obviously,
jump now. You can do it today. You can start
sure.
now.
Yeah,
And
I got
then
a
when
stock
you are
portfolio, dog. I'm
48-year-old
right.
fucking thing,
I'm doing more responsible decisions than
bang, so
20 and
you
22 year
yeah.
old. Yeah, but the fantasy is telling 22-year old to get a bunch of Bitcoin so that
Mm.
33-year old, you know,
You know, I would have told my
doesn't live
younger
in this
self,
little room.
I would have told my younger self to like the shit that I'm feeling now, where I ain't taking nobody's shit. And my younger self was only I only understood not taking shit in the terms of physicality, in the terms of like disrespect, like
Yeah,
disrespect that we got to get physical now. That's what I understood to be, oh, I don't take shit, that if you do something to me I'll fight you or something. But
right,
that's just the baby, that's baseline, that's the floor level of it. The rest, there's so much more game of not taking bullshit that I didn't know, that has nothing to do with physicality. It happens 200 steps before you can ever get physical. You already let the person know that this is not a space for your bullshit.
right. Setting boundaries.
Setting boundaries and understanding what's happening, understanding sometimes why you may get the response you've gotten. Like I would say I was way more unaware of myself when I was younger.
Okay.
I didn't take into account my stature
Yeah. No,
or
we had
how
this
people
conversation
would
last
see
time you
me.
were here too about how you're big and you did not know young when you were
I wasn't
younger.
paying
Yeah.
attention. I'm just being. I wasn't out here trying to be no tough guy. I wasn't out here because so it never like made a difference to me because I didn't chase that. I wanted to have fun, do art shit, skateboard. I wasn't
Yeah.
out here trying to be no street dude. So I wasn't pushing that. People would let me know. People would tell me, "Hey, you would make a great gangster.
Yo.
You should fight somebody." And I'm like, I don't want to fight no goddamn body. And it was like that. And I just didn't know, that I'm dealing with other people's fears, other people's projections, other people's failures, and all kind of shit that they're trying to constantly download on me. If
Mm.
I had knew that earlier, I would definitely have a little different of an outlook by now.
Yeah, you couldn't just be your goofy ass self when
Free, you
you're
could
a kid.
be free.
Yeah, because everything's got to be serious. You have a physical stature, so you gotta be combative.
And
Uh,
also just realizing when somebody is treating you away because of their own insecurities. That has nothing to do, you didn't do anything wrong. They're just insecure on their own. And now they're trying to put that as your problem. They're trying to create it to be your problem.
Yeah, I have
Like when Jay-Z said, my uncle told me I could never sell a million records, but I sold a million records like a million times. His uncle, like Jay said, he said in an interview, he's like, I'm sure my uncle loved me and everything, but he just couldn't see what I could see. It wasn't feasible to him. His life didn't show him that. So he was letting me know from his experience what's possible and what's not possible. But that's your experience. That ain't got fuck to do with me.
yeah, no,
But
that's a
people
really good
always trying to
point.
download their bullshit onto you, man.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point. And I think about that. I think about like how, yeah, okay, we are both first generation, but not necessarily us specifically, our stories, but the parent generation, the immigrant generation, they they're their own pioneers. They come from
Hmm.
a whole other land. They go through all the shit.
Yeah.
They see we got to survive, right?
Hmm.
We got to survive in this foreign land, raise the kids so that they don't have to go through whatever racist bullshit, and they can eventually thrive. So there's that disconnect between the career paths and the general interests of the first generation and the immigrant generation, because the first generation can see the world differently. They are afforded the privilege to see the world
Yeah.
differently by the immigrant generation,
Yeah.
you know? And so if you see the world differently, you see how you can move more. You
Hmm.
don't have that kind of sense of your limitations. Just like how you and I have a sense of limitations, even if we dream big. We still have a sense of limitations and constructs that
Yeah, but I
perhaps a
constantly,
generation,
I do make it a point to attack mine
but
as
that's
much as
work.
possible every fucking day.
That's work. You're not born in it.
No, I'm not born
See
in
what I'm
it, but I
saying?
do. I
That's
definitely
work,
put in
right?
that
You
work though.
don't have the benefit of you as a generation above you having done that work.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you get to be jaded somewhat. You get to be, you get to see the world with with more of a privilege, with more of a. I say this to bring up the main topic, and we're kind of flirting with this idea and talking about it, but like the thought of perpetual self victimhood or the persecution complex. I feel like that really runs deep in a lot of first generation people. There's a switch between back and forth. It's because we either there are situations in which first generation people or immigrants are victims, and they actually are, but then there's also situations in which you can self-victimize to achieve your own ends.
Hmm.
And now there's like this whole dance of like calling out whether or not what people's intentions are with what they say or what they complain about. But it really comes down to that whole thing of, am I self-victimizing, or are people like me legitimately victims in this circumstance, right? And so I think it's maybe an active or a passive choice, I don't know, on whether or not to either have a persecution complex, because that's a way of code switching. That's how this is how I integrate in the white world, is I have to carry on and traffic in a persecution complex, or have this personal accountability narrative where it's like, this is how I traffic in the immigrant world, the first generation world, where it's like I got to focus on surviving, adapting and surviving. So there is no such thing as personal victimhood. And then there's like this third thing where it's like, yeah, this is systemic racism. This is where people are legitimately victims. This is where, people aren't given the benefit of doubt as codified into law, right? So the main topic is talking about micro influencers, people in your lives, and how social media, when you are a personality on social media, or not necessarily a personality, you're aiming to become a personality, or you're just yourself on social media, how there's that is completely separated from your real life, and how it's more advantageous on social media to try to just like be a victim, right? Either these people are the victims or I'm the victim. Or because these people are victims, I'm the victim. Or hey, I'm the victim. Or everything is shitty right now. And so I think that people who have a skewed sense of personal victimhood somehow end up being bigger bullies, cyber bullies online. Now tell me if I'm making a stretch.
Um,
I know that was a
I
lot.
I get what you're saying. Like, it's kind of like how maybe somebody who's like super liberal could be excluding people, where the
Right.
idea of liberal is that everybody's kind of invited, but they get to a point where you're not the right kind of liberal, and then you get excluded, and then they constantly make more niche. It's like the cable television effect, where after a while, having so many channels created so many separations of ideas and thought
Yeah.
and people, yada yada yada. So they do that, and then you have the politics of, you're not liberal enough, or you're not the right kind of liberal. You don't think 100% like me, and that's a problem. And also with the whole victim thing, I don't fuck with victim anything.
No, I know. That's why
I
this is
don't
why
like
I
it.
picked the main topic for having
I
you on.
don't do nothing with it. And for to elaborate, because you constantly have to elaborate everything nowadays. People don't have no fucking brain to understand context for nothing no goddamn more. Um, when I say I do not take on no thing, nothing, I don't take anything on when it comes to victim, is I do not want to position myself as a victim. The times where I see myself doing it, I catch myself and I'm like, yo, cut that shit out. Stop it. Stop participating in your own demise, in your own depression, or in your, any of those things, because that's what it is. The first person to get on your nerve is you.
Yeah.
Because it, honestly, if somebody say some shit, you hear it, it's up to you to decide how you gonna let this deal with you, how you gonna respond, what you gonna say, how far you gonna try to take it. Are you gonna start getting wild? Are you gonna, what kind of shit? So I just don't want to allow myself to be a victim in anything. I don't support being a victim in anything. It's like, and especially when people are searching for it, when you're like looking to find ways to be
Yeah.
offended and not feel good. It's like, how is that your pursuit, to
Oh,
not feel good?
okay,
I don't even get on that.
before you move on, I want to latch onto that point a little bit. So, part of what we do here on this podcast is we're building a toolkit, right? We're helping people build their toolkits for how to navigate their own marginalized lives, right? And however they may be marginalized. So, your thing
I don't
is when
think I
you
know what the
start
fuck that mean.
like okay, toolkit as in like okay,
Marginalized
right,
lives.
right. Like, okay, if you are self-victimizing, or if you're legitimately the victim, or if you feel left out, you feel ostracized, or the color of your skin makes you feel
Mm,
like whatever, you're
mm.
somewhat marginalized or whatever, and you need
Okay,
a
okay, okay.
toolkit for how to operate.
I
Maybe
get you.
necessarily the conversations on this podcast, somebody that looks like you can watch this video and see how you think, and they may not have access to people that look like them that are older and can give them advice. You know what I mean? It's
Mm,
toolkit, right? So we're making a toolkit, or we're giving data, collecting data for people to have a toolkit for how to navigate their own marginalized life. Now, your thing is that when you start to feel self pity or victimized, self
mm,
victimized, you're able to catch it. So now I want you to
mm.
elaborate on how are you able to catch it? How are you able to tell?
You
Wait,
see
before
yourself do it, yo. Pay attention to you. You see yourself start to
right,
go
but
down the
okay,
road of
extract a
fuckery.
little bit.
All right, so maybe, all right,
How do
something like
you?
this, something simple.
Yeah,
Comics, every comic can feel this. You go to a place and you're there, and it feels like nobody here fuck with me, and then you start internalizing it, and you go, how come they don't fuck with me? What, y'all don't like me? And then you add something else to it, and then the whole time is you standing by yourself, talking to yourself, having a whole psycho conversation with yourself.
You're talking about me, man. No, I'm joking. No, no.
But
Yeah,
that's the
yeah, yeah.
thing. I've
I know
done it
exactly what
before.
you mean. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
I've
yeah.
done it before, and the thing is that, like, whether I was right or not of the people fucking with me or not fucking with me doesn't really matter ultimately.
No.
What am I doing? How do I feel? Am I contributing something? Am I having a good time? Am I happy? Am I having fun? And all of that. That's what's more important than me being like, no one gave me a hug. It's like, well,
And
nigga, shit's weird right now. Like, I don't feel like it's gonna even help you get hugs if you bitch about it. If you start trying to harm yourself, like, it don't help. Like, it just don't help.
okay, I want to pause you for a second because yes, you're talking about comedians and the comedian community, but I think what you were saying is translatable to if you're watching or listening and you're in high school or you're in college, it's literally the same in your environment, in your communities. You know, if you're gonna talk only to yourself, it feeds back into itself negatively. So you specifically are talking about like specific parties. But
Yeah,
yeah,
just
this is
like
translatable.
being around shit, and then it was an example of victim where
Yeah.
you start to tell yourself how people don't like you, and then all of that just compounds, and you constantly feel bad. So of course you're gonna feel like shit. It's not good. It's not conducive to literally anything. Anything. It don't have. If there was a way to yield the benefit, then I would understand the argument to continue down that road. But I feel like I've been there where I was like, yo, it feel like nobody liked me. And then when I sat there and thought about it, it's like, well, what the fuck? All right. If nobody liked me, what can I do about it? And then also, no part of this conversation with myself is helpful. That's the end
No.
of it. That's the whole sum of it. Me sitting there with the nobody like you, Andre. Yeah, Andre, nobody does like me. Well, nigga, this not gonna help you. That's just the facts.
So there it
Sitting there
is. That's the Dre
miserable.
test. That's the Dre test. I have this thought. Am I the victim here? And then the test is, does this help me?
Like, it's not gonna make anything move forward. It's not gonna make the relationships you do want to happen by you standing here and constantly pontificating on who likes you or dislikes you. It don't work like that. So it's like, that shit's a waste of time. People love to waste their time. People really do love to waste their time, bro. People love wasting their time. That's another reason why I feel like people travel so fucking much, despite all of the warnings of please just don't. And then, mind you, it's not like the, the earth not new. People acting like nobody fucking remembers 2018, 2019. Y'all didn't want to go see your mother. Last Christmas, you didn't want to see your fucking aunt. But
No.
this year, your ass is burning for a JetBlue flight. You're a dork.
Yeah, your
You're
uncles and
bored.
aunts were still Trump supporters. You didn't want to
For
see them.
years, your family been begging you, come see me, nigga. And every year you got a party you got to go to, you can't come. And now COVID here, perfect example to stay the fuck home, and you can't wait to get on the goddamn plane. People bored, bro. Y'all bored. Go chase something real and tangible. Get to know yourself because you are wasting everybody's time.
People do waste a lot of time. I mean, I waste a lot of time. I'm trying not
Of
to.
course, humans are the smartest, dumbest fucking thing to ever be made. We can make an iPhone, but also run dead into a brick wall. It's not. It's crazy. We're very polarizing figures. Humans. We're dumb geniuses, man.
Dumb geniuses. It's just like
You just got to really pick which side of you go. It's that wolf thing. You gonna feed the good wolf, the bad wolf. It's the same shit. Are you gonna constantly help yourself get dumber, or are you gonna help yourself get smarter? Because you're capable of both. You can make yourself a fucking retard, or you can make yourself a genius. You choose. Every day you get to choose.
wow. How do you what so then what do you choose every day?
I constantly do my best to choose to not be whack. I try my best. I try to find people who are doing dope shit and try to learn from them. I try to see my mistakes and not replicate them. I try to judge the situation objectively. I ask for others like, yo, am I bugging out here? Maybe I'm just looking at this with my own eyes and I'm being sensitive. Look at this. Am I wilding out? Should I shut the fuck up? Because people need to ask themselves this. Should I shut the fuck up? Ask yourself that. Before you start, be like, wait a minute, should I shut the fuck up? Make sure you raise a couple octaves too, because that's how you make it resonate in your brain. Should I shut the fuck up? Do that.
There it
Because
is.
a lot of times the answer is, yeah, yes, shut up.
That's the episode title. Wait a minute. Should I shut the fuck up? Should I shut the fuck up?
It helps.
Should I shut the fuck up?
Should
Yeah.
I shut the fuck up?
Should I shut the fuck Should I? All right, that's perfect.
But for real, bro.
Yo, literally the one question ask yourself in all situations in life before you speak. Ask yourself with the and at the height of your intelligence, the height of your judgment, ask yourself, should I shut the fuck up?
Also, do this, especially with these keyboard people.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers, I'm speaking to the people who could type. When watch yourself when you about to angry type. You type fast as fuck when you about to angry type. You know why that is?
Why?
The faster you move is the less time you get between your thoughts, the words, and the action of typing and hitting enter to question, is this correct? You are moving too fast to even question what you're saying, to check the grammar, to see if you're using that word right, to see if that's the right context, to see if you're misjudging the situation. Slow down.
That's true. I
People
can
move so fast that you bop yourself out your own joy. Slow down.
and to speak okay to the angry commenters, to speak from the perspective of someone who likes to read really long angry comments. um I can rock with it if it's very informative, but the second I see a typo or a grammar mistake, I'm gonna question the authority of all the sources you may have cited or anything, really, because then it's just like, this was a this was just a textual filibuster. This is not.
Man, I don't even know what the fuck a textual filibuster is.
I
Sounds
just
like a
made that
good
up
movie
now.
though.
I made that up just now. Yeah,
That
that's
shit
gonna be
is
the short movie we write. Textual
textual
filibuster,
filibuster.
and it's just about you texting people.
What's the dude that was in Naked Gun? I feel like he's in that
Leslie
movie. If,
Nielsen.
if textual filibuster was to come out, Leslie Nielsen is the man.
Leslie Nielsen, rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Naked Gun was great, yo.
That gun was great because of OJ, right?
OJ was in that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
Orenthal.
um, yeah, OJ, yeah, rose to stardom with the football and Naked Gun.
My man's Orenthal.
Yeah, and then OJ was the first time that the judicial system worked for a wealthy black man, because if you think about it, if you're questioning OJ's judgment or his acquittal of the murder, and you have to question the acquittal of every wealthy white man,
Bro, talking about that,
right?
didn't Donald Trump just pardon
Mm-hmm.
basically the
Okay, so
the
here's the thing about a
Decepticons?
pardon.
This
Here's the
nigga
thing about a
pardoned the
pardon.
Decepticons.
Yeah, and we're only actually we're recording this on Christmas Eve. Merry Christmas, bruh.
Oh shit,
We're
Merry
recording.
Christmas, dog.
Yeah, we're recording this on Christmas Eve, and like we're only on day 2 of his batch of pardons. So who knows who else he'll pardon? I was thinking he might posthumously pardon Jeffrey Epstein, but like the thing is that pardons are an admission of guilt, right? In order to
Mm.
receive a pardon, that means you have to admit guilty to the crime to which you were charged with, right? You can still do time and plead not guilty, but be found guilty by a jury of your peers.
Yeah.
But then when you're pardoned, that's you saying, okay, yeah, I was guilty of this crime, but now I've been pardoned, so I'm not punishable, right?
Mm.
So if you're pardoned and you're guilty of the crime, that means that you can testify as to the elements of the crime if you're subpoenaed into it.
Mm.
That's like why, like, and you're a felon. You're not an alleged felon, you're a felon. So like,
Mhm.
I mean, the pardon shit is crazy, but like, okay, if you're gonna believe in the courts,
Yeah.
then you gotta believe in the courts when they threw out the OJ charges.
Man, fuck the courts.
Well, yeah, fuck the courts, and the courts are getting skewed and all of this stuff, but it's like the
All I
judicial
know is
system relies on your belief and faith in it, and so part of your belief and faith in it is that OJ was OJ was acquitted. So,
all right. The judicial system. Ooh, that word juicy.
mhm,
That shit relies on white people's belief in it. They do not give
right.
a fuck if I believe in any form of justice. America don't give a hot piece of shit if I believe in anything.
OJ got the wealthy white treatment,
They
and
do
that
not
was the
care.
biggest that was the biggest problem.
Yeah, because he had him a white girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, the other stuff, his money, yada yada. So it was different. But I know where I stand in this country.
OJ
I'm standing by
OJ
this
got
country.
OJ got the treatment because of the Mark Furman tapes where he was racist. And that's why the biggest thing is, instead of actually being racist, the worst thing that can happen to you is being called a racist. Is because it's like, oh shit, then we can't get OJ.
Oh, like if people
That's
find out.
right, right. No, that was the whole thing. That was too much of a stretch. That was more of a stretch than the South Park Wookiee thing. But
That
uh
had me for a minute. I was like, "Wait, who?"
but no, no, no. But I mean, anyways, that's the whole thing. Like everything is about calling out hypocrisy works with using different case studies and flipping perceptions, right? So it's like, oh, well, if this is this way, well, then look at this different situation, and all the elements are similar or the same, and it is this way. So
Mm.
this is why there's hypocrisy there. So the thing that we're talking about initially about victimhood, self victimhood, and everything, right? So if you're a first generation, or if you're a competent in the language that we speak in this modern world, right? It is a language of self victimization. It is a language of victimization, of persecution, right? If you're competent in that language and you're a competent content creator, influencer, or narrative crafter, and you're competent, then you understand the value of victimization. You understand the value of chasing victimhood, framing victimhood, marketing victimhood,
Mm.
right? Fighting bullies, all of that. So if you're a first generation and you are not just surviving in this world, but trying to find a way to thrive and adapt in this world, you have to understand that language of victimhood. So that's why you get people like tokens, people like Candace Owens and stuff who can talk in
Mm.
that language of victimhood and flip it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, I feel like people in our generation and stuff like that, first generation people, have to really make a choice on whether or not they traffic in victimhood because they are aware of the language. It's like a whole different type of
Everybody
culture.
gotta make that fucking choice.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't give a damn where your goofy ass parents is from. You still gotta
What do you mean?
decide you want to be a piece of shit or not. The fuck? Are you gonna be annoying forever or not, man? Damn. Like that's really it. You gonna learn how words work, nigga, or not? The fuck? Who cares if your daddy from Long Island or Sudan? You still stupid. Get it together. Give a fuck if your pop's Irish, nigga. Get it together. You annoying right now.
So let's talk about that. What's annoying?
Shit. One thing I really, people need to like, what was it? Revisit, understand, learn, whatever the fuck, context and words, functionality of words, application of words, the use, the correct use.
Language is
What does it
precision.
mean when you are saying the words you are saying? You're saying a sentence, which is a collection of individual words, which all have their own function. People
Yeah.
forget that when you are making a statement, it's a whole body of work. Each word, it's its own. It's how movies are made.
Yeah.
Movies are think of each fucking think of the gaffer, the assistant director, the writer, assistant director, the writer, whatever the fuck, the cast, every each one is a word. And when you put them motherfuckers together, you get a whole statement, a whole paragraph, a sentence, a story. And if each word is put in the right position, place them in the right, because if you put the
Syntax.
gaffer in the seat of the director, you fucked up the sentence. But if you put the gaffer where he's supposed to belong, you put the star where he's supposed to belong, you put the other one that he's supposed to belong, it's a cohesive, perfect statement. It makes sense what you're saying. But people placing all these fucking words, just throwing them everywhere, not knowing what the fuck they trying to communicate. And then you end up with some shit.
Language is precision. Oh.
It's just
Oh. Hey.
people saying words, bro, and do not get it. They do not see what they're actually asking or saying or the underlying context of the situation. Like all kind of shit is happening. There's multiple forms. It's just like y'all not paying attention. People
There's
not
a
really paying
certain
attention.
okay. There's a certain responsibility to having a platform, whether or not you have 100 followers or 1 million followers.
Y'all listening to rap and y'all not really listening.
What do you mean?
Because rap teaches you how to use words. It's an economy of words. You can't waste time. You got to count each bar. You got to
Yeah.
count each bar. You better use your words efficiently if you're really trying to get this message across in 3 minutes, man.
Mm-hmm.
You listen. Are you really listening to these? I'm not talking about every person who calls himself a damn rapper. If you get any education from a 6ix9ine or a damn little pimp pump, that's your fucking problem.
Little
I'm
Pimp
talking
Pump.
about real rappers.
Little Pimp
Right?
Pump available
Little
in
pimp pump.
January.
That's what I'm gonna call
Available
that
at
little dork. That
limited
nigga's a dork.
stores. Little
Lil
Pimp Pump.
Pimp Pump is a dork, right? I'm not showing him respect. Fuck out of here. So that it that's how you end up in a problem. Y'all not really paying attention. Y'all not really paying attention to the words. Y'all not paying attention to nobody's words. That's how they get all. That's how they be tripping people up with extracting. Like they go to a comedy show, and they hear a word that they've been looking to hear all week, and they omit all of the other words surrounding that word that gives that word context in that sentence and statement. It's just like you're not operating on the level you think you are. The people who love to pick out words love to think that they're the most intelligent beings walking this earth because they're policing grammar. Meanwhile, you don't even understand the context of the fucking word. Y'all gotta
It's
stop.
true. That's true. And I mean, I guess you could so policing grammar, right? That's policing this the Queen's English, essentially.
Yeah,
That's
fucking thing.
colonialized language or colonized language in that, what is archaic, what is slang is no less efficient in communicating than the Queen's English. So you got to look at how you're judging the piece of communication. By piece of communication, I mean either the written word, the sentence, the song lyric, whatever.
Mhm.
You look at how you're judging the piece of communication, right? Who cares what the grammar is? unless it's trying to be convincing in that specific grammar, right? Is it trying to send you a message through employing a very specific type of slang? That goes into the tone, that goes into the message, that goes in the motif.
Mm-hmm.
Is it using top notch, archaic language? Well, then that goes into the motif, that goes into the messaging. So, language itself is precision. People have a responsibility to be precise with their language if they're going to hold themselves in a position to call out other people's language,
Hell
right?
yeah.
If you can criticize anyone's use of language, you yourself have to make it to where your language is not unimpeachable or so unimpeachable that you undercut your own authority.
A lot, yeah, they'll trip themselves up, tie their shoelaces together.
They don't do the
Um,
bunny thing.
they're trying to be so clever that they fuck around and bloop, face plant, man.
And you see it. You see it. You see people get called on things when like so a lot of people of color are able to build a following, right? In trafficking and victimization and stuff like that. And even if it's rightly so and rightly called out, you can build a following and build a level of influence. But then, you know, when you do something hypocritical or when you do something off brand and you get called out, well, then it's your choice then. Do you double down? Do you grow?
Yeah, or do you get mad at the person? Like, you can't get
Right.
mad at the person.
Right.
Everybody's a hypocrite.
Do you
At some
block the
point, you're
person?
gonna fuck up. But you got the point is to try to minimize the amount of fuck ups, the severity of fuck ups. Humans mess up some, and humans say hypocritical things because progression. You know what I mean? Like y- back back in 2009, my opinion was this, and
Right.
now I am a better version of myself. So now my opinion is this.
Yeah.
So I'm a hypocrite to that opinion. I've progressed. Whatever the fuck. It's not. It happens. There's nothing wrong with it.
But
Just when it
you can
comes,
see
don't act
my
like it
work.
can't happen.
You can see my work over those years to show how I've progressed. There's a
Hopefully
difference.
somebody's watching.
There's a no, but right, but you have the work, not
Yeah,
necessarily your stand up, right? Different small decisions you made that maybe that nobody's seen. You can show
yeah,
your work, right?
yeah.
There's a difference between somebody advantageously saying, "Hey, well, no, I'm switching positions because I've grown,"
Hmm.
and not necessarily having to work. You can show your work. That's the difference,
Mm.
right?
Yeah, I don't know, man. It's weird. People just do odd things. I don't know. Create issues.
Yeah, because I mean, like
You know?
the issue. Okay, really, really, what it comes down to, and what I want to talk about. We talked about this on your last episode, where like the One Punch Man stuff, right? Take
Yeah.
personal accountability, do all the things, right? Become superhuman. It really comes down to living righteously or being righteous in how you portray yourself.
At least a consistent pursuit of it. At least a consistent pursuit of it, and also be, I don't know if the word's humble
Yeah,
when you mess up or you slip up, you do something like you said off brand. There's been
yeah.
times where our boy Twitter is a cesspool of grossness, and every once in a while that cesspool pulls you in and you see
Twitter's a
some
Lonely Hearts
things,
Club.
and you see some Twitter get nasty, it get freaky. They got every type of OnlyFan and all kind of shit, and then you start clicking, and then you did, and then
You
you get
start
caught
clicking.
up. You get caught up. There's been times I got caught up clicking on some shit no, I shouldn't be clicking on.
I
And
believe
then
it.
and then my friends is like, "Yo, bro, what the hell's your problem?" And I'm like, "Dude, I have no idea what's going on. I fucked up. My bad. Like that's it. I'm not gonna get mad at you. I'm the one that did it. I did this. Me fucking around, Mr. Clickmaster Flex. I'm out here bugging. So I, yeah, I should chill. My fault. I was wilding. There was a lot going on. People had my phone, my taste, things was going on. I'm bugging. My bad. Be humble in it. Like humans, we all the same shit to the most
Right.
part. I
Or
believe.
you
I
could
don't really know
say,
anything
I
better.
got hacked.
You know, I don't know, bro. I feel like we are overcomplicating life when it don't got to be this complicated.
That's
Humans ain't
true.
nothing but fucking stupid ass mammals with tax accounts. We just you're a bear with a bank account. You're not that far removed. The only reason we have all of this going on, what we're doing right now, is only happening because of electricity. The day they plug that bitch out, we are back in the woods being what we is.
Yeah.
We ain't that far removed, bro. You realize the same shit the everything you have, whatever decade you was born in, you would have that same equipment.
Dude,
You
I'm
ain't even
so lucky that
It's fucking
in
crazy. Whether you was born in the 1400s or you was born now, your liver is still located where the liver's located.
yeah, that's
There's
true.
no change. So it's like let's stop faking. Remember, you are a human being. You fucking mammal. You fart. You eat too much, you start farting. That's dumb as shit.
Farting is so dumb.
It's so dumb. Farting is the dumbest thing ever.
If farting wasn't
Gas
dumb, it
happens
wouldn't
in
have a
your
sound.
body. That's just dumb that gas can happen within your body and be like, yo, bro, I gotta leave. And then you just start flip, 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 flip. That's stupid.
Yo,
Stop fronting, bro.
I had gas hurting my shoulder blade the other day.
Gas was beating up your shoulder. You see how that's a stupid ass sentence that we
It's
have
so
to say
dumb.
as human beings?
It's so dumb. It's so dumb.
There's people out there that will have gas to the point they can't play basketball tonight.
Yo, and it was like a literal term. It's called a hook. When you have
A
like a
hook.
gas
Come
bubble
on,
under your.
son.
And I was like, how do I have a hook? And I had to do a really big burp and a fart, and
Look
it
at
was
that.
gone.
That's
It's
dumb.
so funny though.
And then look at that. You still got to go pay your tax. You got to still put on your I pay my taxes and I'm a huff huff huff. Meanwhile, you out here with a fart sitting on your shoulder.
I had a fart in my and a burp. I
Like,
had a
come
fart and a
on,
burp in
bro.
my shoulder.
Come on. People got to
Well,
stop faking
well, a
it,
burp
man.
and a fart. It was in that.
Everybody need to relax. Fucking chill.
Everyone needs to relax
Chill out,
and
B.
fart and burp, and
Even when it
shoulders
comes to
will feel
luxury items, people need to educate themselves on where these luxury items come from. From the earth we come, so shall we return. Everything, man. That beautiful diamond you ready to kill somebody over. Some fucking maggot was crawling on it before.
yeah.
Stop it. Slow down. It's not that crazy. You got some beautiful calf leather Italian shoes. Now you want to fight somebody in the club because they stepped on it. You know what calf leather shoes is? Leather from a calf, nigga. Somebody skinned the animal, killed that motherfucker, and then skinned them and painted them. And now you want to act like you should murder somebody for this. Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up. Sit down, man. You're going to die one day.
If everybody had an Andre D. Thompson in their heads, we would not have any form of colonialism. And it's like, you don't need those spices. Shut the fuck up. Sit down. Eat a potato. Relax. Have a fart, you dumb. I'm not gonna say the N word. but believe me, there's 100 N words in this impression.
Shut the fuck up. Eat your potato.
You Anglo mother.
Say a stupid ass over there. No turmeric for you, jackass.
Uncle Dre.
Hell yeah. Motherfucking right.
That's good. All right. Well,
Motherfucking right.
I mean, damn, I think we got an episode.
I think we did it.
This was on a whim because
Right?
I saw some. Well, yeah, this whole episode was
On a whim. On a good one. A good one. It was a good day.
it was a good whim, because I saw some like we both saw some, and
Fun
then Dre had an
activities. That's it.
interaction,
Some fun activities with
some
good people.
fuckery, yeah, just some fuckery on
That's
Twitter,
all I'm gonna
and I
say.
was
I had
like,
fun
I gotta
activities,
talk to Dre about this, and
fun
so
times with good people.
we
That's what I
made
had.
an episode.
I had fun times with good people. This whole day was me having fun times with
Yeah.
good.
I mean, and just, there's a
Bro,
whole,
I don't got no beef with nobody. I've been hit in the face with a Hennessy bottle before. I know what it feel like to get it on. I don't got
yeah.
no beef
Did
with
it break?
nobody. That's why I got through 9
Did the
years of
Hennessy bottle
comedy.
break?
No,
That's
them
because you're
shits are
soft.
sturdy, right?
Oh,
I've
all
I've gotten through 9 years of
right.
comedy without ever getting into an altercation. Why? Because I know what real altercations feel like. Y'all not gonna do that. That's not this type of industry. Rappers do that shit. Rappers really get it on. If I really wanted to continue getting it on, I would have had some bars. I like jokes. Getting punched don't feel good.
No.
So I don't got no beef with nobody. I had fun times with good people.
Yeah,
I
I
don't got
mean,
no
and there,
enemies.
there's no need for any beef.
I don't got no
Really.
enemies. I had
When
fun
you
times with good.
realize the
How they
fight
say it, bro?
is
Salute.
salute. Yeah, the fight is not with you. The fight is bigger than you. So why fight each other?
You
Right?
fighting with yourself. You
Yeah.
fighting with your stomach. Shout out to AA Rashid. That's another good rapper. Good brother do all kind of ill shit. But I was
Alcoholics
thinking I was
Anonymous
thinking of a
Rashid.
bar. That's why it made me pop into my mind. Pop into my mind.
What
But
was the bar?
yeah, bro.
Yeah.
The art you fighting with your stomach. It's along the lines of is related to the sentiment that it's you versus you versus yourself, all of that. That's like all these cliches is facts. It's not cliches. You saying it's cliches because you don't want it to be true. You don't want
Yeah.
to have to respond to it. You don't have to live up to that shit. It ain't no goddamn cliche, nigga. That shit real. It's you versus you. You and the man in the mirror, you and the woman in the mirror. You and the they in the mirror. I don't know how the fuck you want to identify. It's you and all of you versus yourself. Stop acting like you got beef with people.
Wow. Yeah. Damn. Yo, do you want to plug something to like the 10 people here?
Oh shit. All of my stuff is Andre D. Thompson. You Google that, you find me Between Spots by Andre D. Thompson. You Google that, you find me, hit the search bar on whatever you be searching and type Andre D. Thompson. I ain't got shit on YouPorn, but search, see if you find something cool, send it. I don't know, nigga. Like, whatever.
Thanks for watching. Check us out at returnthejewels.com or on social media at returnthejewels to watch more videos. You can subscribe right there, or you can watch a random video right here. Like, share, and subscribe. Tell all your friends.